Hello, human peoples. You're listening to the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. To support us and gain access to great exclusive podcasts like Fox Mulder is a Maniac, Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Star Trek The Next Futurama, and our latest show, Spiel Boys, head over to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. We do game streaming, movie nights with our patrons every Friday night, and you can even commission your own podcast about anything you want. Literally anything, within reason, and we have to do it. You are quite frankly out of excuses not to go visit patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
Hypecast mit Tom Reimann und David Bell.
We should start a band.
Yeah.
So we're so on the same page.
What would we call ourselves?
We're sort of wearing the color scheme of the white stripes, so we can just do that.
All right,
We can just be the White Stripes. We can do that again, right?
Yeah, we could be.
They're not
the White
using it.
Stripes too.
Yeah, they're not
cool.
using it anymore.
It's great.
Yeah.
Once
they're
a band
through with it.
stops, you can just be that band. It's great.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it works. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, can't you sequel? Can you sequel a band? Can you say the White Stripes?
You can
Part Two?
you could sequel Gallagher. So it seems
Yes.
like that's in the performing arts. He's a stage performer, so you would think you could get like Journey 2,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or
Does that mean-
Backstreet The Revenge.
Is there legal? Can I be Gallagher 3? Can I just call that?
You have
Yeah,
my
I think so.
blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just,
Thank
I
you.
can't imagine who else would want to claim that.
Yeah, I know.
I think you got it. Like
No,
I
that's
think if you
wide
looked
open.
up Gallagher3.com, it would be extremely available.
I'm not gonna change anything I do. I'm just calling that. It's me now.
No effort to do Gallagher things at all. Just
No.
They're gonna
I-
start
this
smashing
is what-
fruit.
I'm a writer. I'm a podcaster. Let's see what else. Like,
Yeah.
If you
This
start
is the new Gallagher. I'm rebranding Gallagher.
you started showing up with like a costume hat with his like skeleton, changed
Oh,
nothing
yeah.
else about your.
Nothing else.
yeah, I am.
I think that's the best way. I think that's how Gallagher would have wanted it, and Gallagher
I think
too.
so too. We're honoring
Both
him.
Gallaghers.
Yeah.
I think that's as good a time as any to start the show. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to another episode of Hypecast.
Hypecast.
Showing it hype about stuff and things. I'm your co-host Tom Ryman.
I'm your other co-host Gallagher 3.
And it's me, Alex Schmidt. Hello.
Hey,
It's great to be here.
Alex. Thank you so much for being on the show.
That's a joy.
Oh, thanks.
How are you? What have you been up to?
I'm great. But and I don't know if it's probably not in there because it was a while ago. We're congratulating Tom. This is very exciting about
Oh,
Tom.
thank
Maria.
you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only a
It is.
Because you told the patrons, right? We
weeks
can talk
away.
about it.
Oh yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
Cool.
You have any plugs?
Actually,
You wanna
like kind of
plug
a
anything?
specific one, because secretly incredibly fascinating. We're going to do a live show in London, and I'm really excited
Oh.
about it. And that's also like kind of a
oh my
specific
God.
news, you know. So if you're
Yeah.
anywhere near London in September, please come to that show. There's a
Where?
link in
Where
like
London?
my bio and the show bio on Instagram to get it. It's September 8th.
September 8th. Where in London?
The London Podcast Festival. It's at a venue called King's Place. It's right near King's Cross.
That's
Oh,
awesome,
okay.
man.
Yeah, and Katie is going to meet me in the middle, you know, because she's in Italy, and then I'll come
Right,
from
that's
the
right.
east
Oh,
of
that's
the
awesome.
US.
Do you,
Yeah,
do
so
you
it's
know
a
what
perfect
the
spot.
Do you know what the top? Are you telling people what the topic is beforehand, or is it going to be a surprise?
I'm mulling a few, so it'll be a surprise. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. But
You gonna
it'll
try
be
to do the
relevant to
accent?
people in London is the plan,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
Are you going to try to do the accent while you're there? Are you going to say cheers a lot? Are you going to say cheers?
I
You
feel
got to
like
say cheers.
there's so many stereotypical British accent voices and words. Like it's almost kind of its own galaxy of characters at this point.
It is.
You know? It's very
Have you
fun.
Have you been before?
Yes, I've been to London before.
It is. I went like 20 years ago, and it was a delight.
I got to be there for a semester in college. That was my main experience.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it was great, yeah. And so I'm also like very excited to go to a place I already like, where I feel like I've seen the bucket list things too, because then you just enjoy. You don't have any like tasks like, oh, I gotta like hustle to the Sistine Chapel real quick or whatever. You know, like I've just done it. Yeah.
Got to make time
That's
to
good.
look at Big Ben for a minute.
I'm literally the opposite because I was
There
like a
it
dirtbag
is.
punk. I didn't see Big Ben once while I was there. I didn't see a
It's
thing.
all right, Dave, because Big Ben saw you.
Yeah, I will say, London is, you know, people make fun of the British for their food. Their chips is legitimately better than our fries here. I think
Yes.
adding vinegar and doing with the fork is so freaking good.
You know what else is excellent there? What they call crisps that we would call potato chips is
Right.
also, they have like so many good flavors. They have the prawn kind. It's also excellent. They really do potatoes well.
And they have fun little coin money, which is
So many different
it's
coins.
Pretty
Yeah.
cool.
I think if
Yeah.
a bag of prawn chips would be like an episode of Fear Factor for me.
Oh.
It does sound slightly horrifying.
I'll
yes,
take
I
I'll
understand.
take the mealworms, please. Thank you.
More crisps
That's
for
really-
me, Gov. All right.
All the prawn crisps I can eat
When is this? This is
with
in
me and me
September?
mates.
Yeah, September 8th. September 8th.
I wish I could go. You should do a few of these so I can try to go. I want to go. I want to
Oh,
be
that,
there.
that would be nice.
I'm
Man,
gonna hide in your luggage.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna die in your luggage. I'm gonna cause a problem for you. An international
Pet,
problem.
just like a pet.
I like that for this scheme, you're like setting your expectations very low. You're like,
Yeah.
I'm going to die. And then if it's better than death, it feels like a win, right? That's good.
If you set your expectations lower, you're never disappointed.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a trick that I learned a long time ago.
When I came back, because the drinking age is different there, right?
Yes.
Which doesn't matter to any of
I think
us.
it's 16.
Yeah, something like it's
Yeah,
it's kind
yeah.
of the same as Canada. It's just be cool. Like it's one of those
Right.
where it's like if you're cool, we don't care. I was like 19 when I went, and I came back through customs with 10 bottles of scotch.
Yeah, you did.
and the custom guy asked me if I did any drugs when I was there, and I replied, I don't know.
It's the best answer. That is the best answer to give because it's also a yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
It's a
Luckily, they were-
specifically emphatic yes.
Yeah, it's
They didn't
very
care.
clear.
Though. This was post 9/11, so they didn't care at all. They're like, whatever, man, just keep going. My God, good.
Just slide him a bottle so they let you buy.
Right? Yeah, yeah. It was just like
Hand
these
him
are
one
gifts
with a little
for
wink.
other people. Yeah,
You know, if this should happen to open itself and pour into a glass, it's not like
So
you
be
accepted
it.
a gift or anything.
yeah.
I guess we should start naming producers, right?
I guess so. We should
Naming
get
them.
started. Naming them. We shall
Calling them
name
out.
I'm Knight the producer. Like,
Oh boy, big old thank you to @nerdnumbers.
Thank you.
you. Thank you to Zero Charisma.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to 2001, A Space McNulty Odyssey.
Thank you.
Thank you to Aaron Burser.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to AJ.
Thanks.
Thank you to Andrew.
Thank you.
Alex deserves more hype, McGuire. Thank you.
Thank you again.
Oh.
Sorry, jump the gun there.
And thank you to Andrew Howe demands a single act of kindness. Thank you to Asking Seven.
Thank you. It's a list of
We'll talk.
kindness.
We'll-
Like we're
we'll think
we're
about it.
thanking people. That's kindness.
That's true. That's true.
I'll swoop in here. Thank you to Bob Grenville.
Thank
Thank you to Bootler Bootlesson.
Thank you.
Thank you to Brian, who Tom knows.
Thank
Thank you to Brockway loves the meat millie.
Thank
Thank you to Water, Jim, Sunscreen, Kung Fu, Scott, Healthcare, Self-Care.
Yeah,
I'm
pick it up.
sorry. Thank you to Chester's Prophet.
Thank you.
Thank you to Christopher Robert Sparks, Esquire.
Thank you.
Thank you to Dan Hackroyd.
Thank you. All right. Let's jump right into movies because
let's
my
do it.
goodness, I am hyped
So
for
many
this
movies.
first one. Yeah, but this is the trailer for the goddamn Robert Edgers Nosferatu, starring just all the creeps.
Every dirty
We got
little
all the
creep
creeps.
from all his
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah, Haldeman, Ehrlichman, who else?
There's a Skarsgård. I believe he is the Nosferatu, which is
I think so, yeah. Which is
It checks out.
fine casting. We've long
funny that
suspected this about them.
Yeah, it's wild that it's like, oh, there's a Robert Edgers Nosferatu with Willem Dafoe, and he's not the vampire. Like, he literally was in Shadow of the Vampire as this role.
Yeah.
But, you know,
Well, I mean, him as Van Helsing is also, or the Van Helsing analog is pretty
yeah.
spot on as well.
This is, Alex, did you see, I don't know if you're a huge horror guy, but, like, did you see The Witch or The Lighthouse or The Northman, any of Edgar's others?
I think I've seen the trailers for all of them. And so I
That works.
have the gist of his vibe, and it seems great. It seems really cool.
Yeah, this is like a match made in heaven. Like, this is,
Yeah, this is a
don't
perfect
know.
film for him to be doing. He's one of the directors that I'm the most excited about because all of his movies have been just awesome.
yes, they've been tens. Every single one. They're incredible.
Like near
and,
masterpiece level for each one. They're
Yeah.
really good.
And Nosferatu is one of those things where if I just heard like Universal is making a Nosferatu, I'd go like, ah. But then hearing Robert Edgers is making a Nosferatu, it was just like the moment I heard that, I was like, of course. Of course.
He's just doing really like the most interesting things, in my opinion, with genre movies right now. Like, because they're all
Yes.
genre movies, but he's doing them in these really, really cool ways.
And I don't know, this reminded me a lot of the Coppola Dracula in that
Yeah.
like they get the assignment, like that shot of the hand, like going the shadow of the hand over the city. That feels straight up Coppola Dracula, like the
Cool.
eyes in the sky and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like it feels like he nailed it. Like what this is supposed to be, this looming presence over this town. The idea that like, you know, this vampire is like sucking the life out of the town around him
Right, he's a
is always
plague.
part of that lore. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the trailer felt very old-fashioned in a good way. It felt like old
Yeah.
stories and myths and like spooky stuff from the past, and not from like, oh, what did the latest people do? I'll kind of do my this little twist on that. It was just like, this is
Right.
an old story of the oldest vampire from the oldest woods, you know.
Yeah.
That's like
Edgers
his
has that
bag.
tone.
Yeah, like all of his
Cool.
movies have been like that.
Yeah, they all feel like they're etched in stone. Like they're these very old tales. Even if he doesn't shy away from modern filmmaking, but he just, I mean, it's so much in the music and the pacing and stuff like that. Like,
And the stories
it's so
themselves,
good.
like the settings
Yeah.
themselves. This does. I did want to say that this looks scary.
yes,
And like The Witch was, but it's
he makes scary things.
sometimes, yeah. But it's interesting. Like The Lighthouse looks scary, but it's actually really funny if you've not
Yeah,
watched
The
it.
Lighthouse is more of a comedy than anything else.
And the Northman is a little bit of a horror, but it's mostly just action and
Right.
suspense.
Okay.
So
yeah,
it's a revenge movie. He's a Viking who wants revenge against the
All
man
of
who
his
killed
movie-
his paw.
yeah, all of his movies are graphic. They're all very graphic.
Yeah.
They have a lot of, but they're not horror necessarily. They can have horrifying aspects to them for sure. It's weird that Lily Rose Depp is in this. I mean, she's probably a fine actress, but she's the most modern looking person in it, I guess.
Oh
is the way
yeah,
I'd put it.
yeah. She did kind of stand out in that way.
Yeah, she's like a time traveler. Everybody else just looks so, I don't know. And Nicholas Holt is there because I feel like he has to be in vampire things now.
Right. Shockingly, not the vampire, or maybe not.
No.
Who knows? Who can say?
But he could have been. Ralph Ineson is there. I assume he'll be doing most of
The
anytime
narration.
anytime someone needs to narrate.
He and Willem Dafoe will split duties on exposition.
Yeah, they'll just keep swapping out.
Okay, now it's your turn. All right, I'll tell you.
It's popcorn reading. That's how we do it.
Yeah. I do love because it's Bill Skarsgård who is in The Crow. He was Pennywise in It. And I feel like he's like after Pennywise, he was like, I can be the new Tim Curry. Yeah, fuck it. Like that's what he's going for, and he's
Cool.
and he's nailing it. Like I like an actor who's not afraid of like covering themselves in shit and being weird and creepy. You know?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
weird little creep.
Yeah, because he could be a leading man and isn't a leading man. You know, like he has. I just like what he's been going for, which is weird. Or like he was the villain in John Wick. Like,
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
That's right.
Yeah, he plays villains. He loves playing villains right now.
Good for him.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's dope.
It seems like one of the most fun things you could do in movies. So that's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's move on.
All right. Red One. We talked about this a while ago because this is famously going over budget because The Rock was just not showing up, apparently. He would be like 6 hours late.
No. The Rock.
Oh
yeah.
man,
There was like a whole article that came out about
Rocky,
this.
no. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember it. Yeah.
Oh. Well, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he known
Which
for that
does-
in general, or just this movie he did it?
That's a great question because
when I was working at Collider, I know that he would do that to interviewers sometimes, just
Right.
really blow his time or not show up.
this comes
Yeah.
from the, I believe, writer, definitely the director of Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story.
Mm.
I don't know if that.
That's
a good movie.
yeah, one of the best comedies, I think, honestly. I really
it's
love
really
that movie.
What'd you guys think of this? So for people who don't know, the premise is Santa is fucking
J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons, and he's like gritty Santa.
The J.K. is
And
for
then-
jacked.
Yep. And he has bodyguards, and it's like this very modern enterprise. And then Dwayne Johnson, which is his bodyguard, his name is Callum Drift, according to IMDb.
Sure.
No.
Hires.
Why
No.
isn't it a Christmas name?
I don't
What
know.
the hell
he
are we doing?
hires, he hires Chris Evans because Santa Claus gets kidnapped, and they have to get him back. And it's a comedy. Lucy Liu's there. Bonnie Hunt's there. That's what we're going for here. What you guys think of this trailer?
Yeah.
You go ahead. Long pause, and we both say it.
Perfect answer.
Because it's like, it seems very professional and probably like competent and not like ultimately that fun to me, maybe.
Here's
Is my feeling.
my take is that I think this might have been a really good script and like started from a good idea that you can see a piece of, which is that I think the idea is that it's like gritty sand, the Krampus slap game is like, I don't know. I think there's some cute ideas here, which is like, what if we almost parodied the gritty reboot and did a gritty reboot of Santa?
Yeah, it's the Santa Claus.
Right.
But
But
they
I
had
think
the ELF, like their high tech rescue team that goes to rescue
Right.
Santa.
But I think they didn't lean into that enough. I think it's like this needs to be actually more absurd.
Right, like it's
because-
it's trying to be cool, and at the same
Right.
time, and it's like, fellas,
Right.
you cannot be cool in this movie.
Right. And I think
You can
they
be
needed to
fun and funny,
yeah.
but you need to put cool out of your mind, unless you're
There was
talking
little- I
about
like-
the North Pole.
I like that they knew to like Dwayne Johnson, he gets his ass kicked in the trailer by Krampus. I like that he's not trying to be Vin Diesel about it and win every
Yeah, that
fight
was
or
funny. I
whatever.
laughed at that, but otherwise, like this just looks too too adult for kids and like too
It's PG-13.
yeah, and too too kiddie or childlike for adults. Like this feels like another one of those movies for no one that that got like noted to death maybe.
This is what that's what my thought is that maybe this started as a very adult comedy and then got kind of watered down or so, like you look at a movie like Strays, where Strays was like, this is what we're going to be for better or for worse. to the point
Yeah,
that
and-
all their posters had rated R as big as possible, so no one brought their kids to it.
Yeah, and I watched it, and they stick to it.
Yeah.
They commit to that idea.
Cool.
And this feels like maybe that was the idea at one point, and then The Rock got involved, or not even necessarily The Rock. Maybe it's just studio notes, and then they were like softened it or maybe it is wild, and the trailer just doesn't know how to sell it. You know,
I know you can't make a $300 million movie without a whole lot of people giving their opinion.
right?
Yeah.
And
So-
so I feel like maybe this got lost.
Yeah, it does have that.
Yeah.
It does have the lost its way vibe.
'Cause
Yeah, I got hung up on the title because I think the title is referencing Air Force One
I think
and like
so
the
too.
Harrison Ford movie Air Force One, but it's not. It doesn't seem like it's quite a dire situation where Santa is a hostage of the Russian separatists, and it's not like that plot. It's just
Right.
like, oh, now we got to meet all the kooky other fantasy characters that you never knew are real. Is like cutesy. So it seems like it's a hard mix.
Yeah.
But probably both parts are kind of there. And when you ultimately watch it, you're like, okay, it was all kind of there, but it's not like joyful because you're like processing this clash.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, because like everybody involved is pretty talented, or they've made
Yeah.
movie, like Jumanji was fun. These aren't films that are like
They're
life
not-
changing, but they're chill.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair thing to say. But I mean, this does look really bad.
Yeah, I just
Let's
can't,
be
like,
clear.
quite put my finger on it.
I mean,
Yeah.
sorry, that's just my opinion. But like, let me
No,
be
it's-
clear.
Yeah.
This looks bad.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah.
fascinated by this. Like, I'm gonna have to watch it because I want to know like what. It's like it's off. It just feels off to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I said the Santa Claus, but it also kind of feels a little bit like Santa Claus the movie in that way, which is a really
Right.
deep cut. But it was like Dudley
Yeah,
Moore and just like a weird mix of
Oh, I don't know it.
tones. It's an obscure movie, but there's a couple of people who are like, I remember that.
I mean,
Yeah, it's another one of those where it's kind of like, what if Santa was real, and a little bit, kind of mixing with like, a guy like Dudley Moore. Anyway,
I mean, I really hope this. Like, I guess what I like is that we're still taking swings like this. Like, I think of A Gnome Named Norm, the 1990 film with an adventure with a gnome and Michael Hall, where you watch that movie and you're like, what? How did this happen? Like who got together and said like, yeah, let's do this.
Yeah.
Let's make this movie.
who read that and
A
was like,
movie-
let's give it a shot?
Well, you know who did? It's directed by Stan Winston.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, so Stan Winston read it. And this is all to say that, like, I don't know.
Wow.
I hope that in 20 years people are like, what the hell is this movie? And they discover it and they go like, wow, what the fuck is this? So, I don't know. It's kind of delightful.
Yeah, sure.
Uh,
Can move on.
let's talk about Here.
Yes.
Here.
Yeah.
This is Zemeckis.
Yeah, Robert Zemeckis.
Yeah.
Man, a weirdo.
This is, I mean, yeah. Speaking of big swings, he's been taking huge swings for
I love it.
from Castaway on. I haven't really liked any of them that much.
This
but
is from the writer.
this looks great. Yeah.
Yeah, this is from the writer of the Dune adaptation, Forrest Gump, Killers of the Flower Moon. So, it's this writer has been
Wow.
cranking out some good stuff. Munich, The Postman.
Huh.
Sure.
Yeah. This is so for people who don't know this trailer, the entire premise is the camera seems to never move.
No, it's parked
It's
in that
from-
one spot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a single camera shot like a play where what moves is time. It goes over what appears to be millions of
Eons.
years. Eons, the dinosaurs, cavemen, and then Tom Hanks and Robin Wright's relationship.
And then Tom Hanks,
It reminds me actually a lot of a movie.
the
that
Omega.
Yeah. It reminds me of a movie that kind of passed people by, but I really liked. It had some unfortunate casting at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Ghost Story. A Ghost Story is very similar in that and that was a movie that got a lot of crap because it also is like a guy with it's like this art house film where the guy has the a literal like Charlie Brown ghost
Sheet.
costume sheet.
it's
but that
Casey
director for
Affleck in a sheet.
Yes, it is, and so it goes down smooth because you never see the Casey Affleck. He's just in a sheet. But the director went on to make The Green Knight. The director is very good, and I really liked that movie. And that's all to say, the thing that this isn't really a spoiler, but the idea of how they depict death is that he is in one location throughout time, and so you see the same spot, not from the same shot, but like everything around him just keeps changing and changing. And the purpose of the sheet is the idea that death has removed his identity. Like it has a very like relevant symbolism in the movie. That's all to say this has a lot of the same vibes, which is like, let's look at this one spot in time, which I love.
Yeah, it's a
really
cool
excited
idea.
for this.
Yeah, and the trailer. Yeah, I read about this before I saw the trailer for the show, and reading about it, I was really like, I don't know about that, but like seeing the trailer really sold me on it.
I'm a sucker for this personally.
Yeah, it looked strong and also the de-aging looked about as good as that looks. You know,
it's
it's
not
right.
the Polar Express. It's decent.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What if
Also
we were
starring
talking
Tom
about Red
Hanks.
1 and I was like, I will not be seeing Red 1. I'll be rewatching the Polar Express. That's my Christmas.
Thank
That's
you
what I
very
do.
much. I love Zemeckis' career. Like I love that in this trailer they can be like from the director Back to the Future and Forrest Gump.
It's a
Here's Tom
staggering
Hanks.
list of movies. Like they put out all of his hugest ones, but they're also like so different. They're like, oh right, he did make all these.
It's nuts.
Yeah, his career is bonkers.
Yeah. I don't know. This reminds me of like the ending of Gangs of New York, where the graveyard. You see
Exactly.
the graveyard
Yes.
over
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Like I love that stuff. I mean, if you know me long enough, you know that I love going to where movies were filmed. So like personally, I have this weird thing for physical spaces where it's like it's so cool to me that something happened in this physical space. So I don't know.
Yeah.
This is my jam, and I'm surprised no one thought of this idea before of like, let's do it all from just the same shot over time. That's such a cool idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like same location, but same shot is a real interesting twist on that.
Yeah. Over such a long time. Also, Paul Bettany's there.
Yeah, he is.
I don't know how he's there, but he's there.
Yeah, it's a star-studded location. Wow.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like a magnetic pole. They're just drawn to it.
All the stars are
This is
in
where
this one
the
house.
Tom Hanks goes. So,
They really, I think with de-aging, it really, I mean, it works with long time. Because, I mean, if you remember this from like Patrick Stewart when they de-aged him for X-Men, they just went and watched Star Trek. Because it's like, well, we know what he looks like. So like in this, he just looks like bosom buddies. And it's like, yeah, we have this information.
yeah,
We have this data
volunteers
now.
exists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can look at this and go, is this any good or not? Well,
I mean,
let's
also
go watch Big.
the technology always gets better. So it's still like it can't disguise his old man voice though.
Yeah, well, it's that. Or the way, like we talked about this with
The way
The
he moves,
Irishman.
yeah.
Yeah, where it's young Robert De Niro shuffling.
Yeah, he's moving like 75-year-old Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's here. Did you guys
Here.
have any more thoughts on it? I didn't want to cut anybody off. Sorry.
I'm just excited.
Yeah, it looks pretty good, honestly. I haven't been like excited about a Zemeckis movie in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's his deal lately?
I think Welcome to Marwin might have been his last. Oh no, it was The
Right.
Witches. It was the remake of The Witches that was on HBO Max, and
Yeah.
that was really bad.
He's been weird. He's been weird lately.
Does everything.
yeah, he
yeah.
does do everything.
He
Anything
really
else?
does. It's like his goal.
Yeah.
Let's talk about The Front Room.
Let's do it.
This is wild because it's directed by Max and Sam Edgars, which I considering that they've both worked on Robert Edgars films, one assumes they're related. It would be wild if they were all on set like same name. That's wild. So we got just all these Edgars up in here.
And
these
what if they're
Eggers.
not related, though?
I know. Just
Unconfirmed
coincidental
that they're
Eggers.
related to Robert Eggers, but anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure I can
Or-
look this up.
There's-
but I'm not
But
gonna-
There's a writer named Dave Eggers, right? Maybe he's involved somehow. I don't know.
oh
he
my
could be.
God, what?
Could be another
What?
piece of the puzzle.
All these eggy dudes.
So many eggs.
There's a list of Eggers on the back of the Declaration of Independence. We're gonna figure it out.
Right.
We're gonna.
We got to figure out where all these Eggers are coming from.
I mean, it's funny because Sam Eggers is just the production assistant on The Witch. So
Yeah.
It's a very good cage. I love it.
Oh, thank you.
but like, it's clear that Sam Eggers was on The Witch, and his brother or his cousin or whatever was
Yeah,
like,
it seems
go
like it.
climb that ladder and do that thing.
Seems
He's
like it,
No,
yeah.
I'm not doing that. He's
This
like, "I'll give you
movie-
PA."
Sorry.
No, this is the first half of this movie is just get a load of this old broad.
Yeah.
Like that's where they're like, look at this old
It's-
lady.
it's-
She's kind of a problem.
It's, oh, sweet, Brandy's back. And then, man, this old lady's a pain in the ass.
Yeah. And then it's, man, this old lady's really a pain.
Really
in the
a
ass.
pain in the ass.
Because yeah, this is like
What if the characters
It's-
were like, "This is Brandy's first movie back. You got to take it easy on her, old lady. You got to give her a
Go
break."
back. Pump
It's
the
been a while.
brakes on the demon stuff.
yeah. Yeah, she's like, okay, this could easily be like a 90s, 70s, 80s thriller where it's just like this old lady is sinister, but this feels supernatural, right?
It
This is
does feel a little bit that way, yeah. They hint
something-
at
it's
it.
presented as it, yeah.
Yeah, she's suddenly Mary from the Bible and stuff. Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah. There's so basically this lady's pregnant, her father-in-law dies and they have to take care of her mother-in-law. So it's like, oh, mother-in-laws, you know. But then the mother-in-law appears to be some sort of monster.
Yeah, some sort of like cult maniac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a cult maniac.
Played by Catherine Hunter, who's been around.
Yeah.
She's in a lot of stuff.
And she also immediately walks on two weird canes with a big cloak over her whole body, which is
Right.
like a real entrance, man. That's something.
The Tales
Yeah,
from the
they're
Crypt entrance.
It's like we have to take care of this demon.
Yeah.
Like it's just she's terrifying immediately.
Yeah.
And she's a weird
then-
old racist and
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this feels like a pretty on the nose like metaphor, and that's fine. I mean, that's totally fine. Like this to me is like, I don't know. This could go either way.
I do kind of like these movies when they're done well or when they're fun. Like the first thing in the trailer they show, the first thing that happens when she comes into the house is she's like, "Oh, what's this room?" Like, "Oh, that's the nursery." It's clear that the crib and everything is set up in there. It's like, "Nope, this is my room now. Go away."
Right.
She just takes over the nursery immediately. And that's like such a cool hand that rocks the cradle type thing to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, it could go either way because these are very often miss rather than hits. But I do
Again,
like
this-
these kinds of thrillers.
Yeah, it's nothing about this trailer is subtle. Like even that scene you're talking about, she doesn't like passive aggressively take over.
No,
the room. She
no,
just goes,
yeah.
I'm taking this room.
Yeah,
Um,
I do like the escalation when it's more passive aggressive. That's true, but it could be fun
But-
if it's loud like this. Like The Visit is pretty fun, and that's pretty
Yeah.
loud.
And again, Max Eggers co-wrote The Lighthouse for the record and wrote this. So it's like, all right, that's not nothing. This could be out of its mind, in a fun way.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
open to it. Not it's probably too scary for me, but like whether it might be a good movie or not, I'm open to it turning out to be good.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely going to have to check it out. It's,
Yeah, definitely.
It's a weird trailer because it's like such a combination of things that it like distracted me. The brandy and the egg of it all.
The
all
eggs,
the eggs.
so many eggs.
Where I'm just like, what's going on here? But the trailer itself, it looks like a fun thriller. It's personally not like I don't know. I shouldn't say it's not my favorite because like I just don't quite know what it is, to be honest. Like it's
That's fair.
yeah. If it's just dealing with this non-supernatural lady, that just doesn't seem as appealing to me because I'm like, just push her down. But like, it seems there's more to it than that,
Okay.
You guys want to talk about The Union?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm so tired.
This is a Netflix action comedy starring Halle Berry as a spy who recruits a bewildered Mark Wahlberg into her secret organization, which is run by J.K. Simmons. He's working a lot for Netflix these days.
How many Netflix spy action comedies have we gotten? I feel like we've gotten 30 in the last month. Like, I am so tired. And then that's on top of all the other action comedies. It's a genre, you know?
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a whole thing. You write spy action comedy, you realize how many, and some of them are very good, you know? But it's just like
a long pause.
I'm
sure there's one.
A huge genre. I Spy, you know, great movie.
Yeah,
no, I mean like The Man from U.N.C.L.E. is an action spy comedy, right? Like
Right. That's pretty
lot.
solid.
The Kingsman that people like, Austin Powers, but then also Six Underground. You know, that's a Netflix one, right?
Yeah. Red Notice, another Netflix
Red
one.
Notice. Yeah.
Yeah.
This one,
maybe
oh,
actors
sorry.
really like to sign up for that. Like they get to be actiony and funny and hot, and like maybe it's just a enticing actor offering.
They
I do think
seem
that's
like
part of
fun.
it, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I had a thought. I lost my train of thought. Sorry, guys.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
I mean, they
No, I love
legit
it. Yeah.
seem like
No problem.
they seem like fun. It's just like I'm glad they're having fun.
Yeah.
I'm not having fun.
It's not
There's so
fun to
many
watch
of
you
them.
have fun, unfortunately. I remember what it was. I was going to say, I did want to say that this is the most I've liked Mark Wahlberg in a trailer in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just wanted to throw that out there. Like, he's
Yeah.
he's good at being the befuddled dumb guy who's getting his ass kicked for the first half in this trailer,
Yes.
anyway.
The premise again, it's
Yeah.
the premise of so many of these. I feel like,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
everyday person. It has to be a spy now because of some ham-fisted reason. And it's Halle Berry, and there's so many where it's like, you're a spy, like that moment.
You're a
where they
spy,
reveal it.
Harry.
Yeah, Argyle just did that.
Yeah, Argyle.
They all have the whoa, you're a spy. They all have the moment where it's like, I'm just a regular person. Boom, spy. Oh shit. They just all feel so samey that they bleed together. And so Mark
True
Wahlberg
Lies.
is, yep, and that's that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one,
But they all have the same. They all look the same. They all have that Netflix tinge now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's Mark Wahlberg is thrown into the spy world with Halle Berry, and she's a spy, and he has to. I don't know why they've chosen. Like, I thought there was going to be something more special, but they say like,
no,
I needed someone I could trust, and you're like some guy I knew in high school.
right. They dated in high school, so she drugs him and takes him to London to meet Jack Simmons.
Does she not have any new friends?
I guess not. Like, this is normally
so
what
sad.
happens when you get swept up in a multi-level marketing scheme. Like, you start
Yeah.
reaching back and calling people from like third grade.
You're right.
I want to talk to
feeling-
you about starting a business.
Yeah. His garage is full of some product all of a sudden. Like, oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Like Matthew Lesko books or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, this trailer it did remind me that Halle Berry is like pretty convincing as a spy or some other amazing person, and it made me
Yeah.
wish she got her own spy franchise after she was in the last Pierce Brosnan Bond movie. Like, not
That would've been
necessarily
good.
that character as its own franchise, just like something. She should have done between now and Die Another Day cool spy movies.
Definitely after
Absolutely.
John Wick 3.
Yeah.
It's like,
Cool.
where is her spy movie spinoff? Like, where's her John Wick spinoff?
that'd be
I
great.
mean, she was so fun.
Yeah, she was great in
that.
that movie. Yeah.
She has dogs.
Yeah,
Oh
she's
my
got the
God.
dogs. It's perfect. That's a great action
Yeah.
hero.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
yeah. This looks fine. I mean, the nothing against the actual people who made this film. Like you said, it looks like they're having fun. I mean, well, I have something against Mark Wahlberg specifically, but like nothing against like the general vibe. It's just like, for me, I'm like, why are there so many of these, and how
Yeah.
can we stop? I guess they must be making money, or they must, because Netflix there must be some email where there are like more action spy comedies.
I mean, these are the kinds of things that you just put on. I think a lot of people just put them on.
Yeah. I think that's right.
But yeah,
in the
I'm sure
background or something.
Yeah, I'm sure this is fun. Like again, it's just like this is my problem. Is like when you make so many, the good ones just completely blend.
Yeah,
in,
they get washed
right?
out.
That's why, like Fall Guy, for example, didn't do well because it's like it just completely blended in with this weird, like action comedy romance that we've been doing and just churning out at this ridiculous rate.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah, I just think we need a break.
Yeah. Speaking of, do you want to move on, or did you have another thought?
I just want to know this also has the mid 2000s look, where like the technology looks very like Spy Kidsy.
It does look very.
Which is such a.
It was funny that Alex mentioned Die Another Day in the notes because it was like it looks like the effects, like not the effects, but like the gadgetry from Die Another Day.
It's funny that we're doing that now, and I see like maybe a nostalgia, like the retrofuturism of the 2000s, but
that's
this
such
feels
a
like it was
weird
done
thing to say.
Yeah, I know. It hurts to think about.
Oh yeah, it's terrifying.
Like, you know how people are doing like VHS aesthetics now? It's like just you fucking wait until like they're doing
DVD aesthetics,
DVD aesthetics, and you're like, take that seriously. That was a fine time.
Animated DVD menus.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
Really, really longing for those days.
Boy.
Ugh.
Yeah. This next one is called Between the Temples, which is a very clever title. Although I wish he was also like a spy, because that would make it if he was like an assassin or something, because then it would be like the double entendre, like it would be like he'd be like a spy working at temples.
Wait, he's like a double agent? Like he tells one temple he's working for them, and then
Between the Temples is it's a great because he's literally like going between temples. But like, if he was also like shooting people between the temples, you know what I mean? Like he's a spy, and it's like, oh shit! I just, I want to take that. I want to, I want to stretch that title for all it's worth. Is my point?
Yeah, wring every last drop of blood out of that stone.
This is Jason Schwartzman and Carol Kane, which is a delightful combination.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, yeah. This looks pretty great.
It does.
Sorry, we haven't even said what it's about yet.
He's basically his family donates. If I get it correctly, he's working at this temple, and it looks like he's shitty at it.
Well, he can't sing. He's a cantor.
He's a cantor.
And he can't sing.
Yeah, and he's gonna throw an adult bar mitzvah for
Carol Kane, who is his old music teacher, and she's gonna help him learn to sing better at the same time. It looks like one of those kinds of whimsical ass movies. Yeah, this looks great. I enjoy those two actors very much. I like seeing them get to do a movie like this together.
Yeah.
I laughed out loud at a joke. I can't remember the exact phrasing of it, but she thought he was a cancer in astrology, not a cantor at a temple. And it plays much funnier than I described it. It's really great.
That is really great, though.
The solid Carol Kane bit.
So good.
Yeah, she nails it.
I just remembered her in Scrooged.
She's amazing in Scrooged.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, this looks great. Alex, your note in here is also something I thought. The weirdest thing about this trailer is it looks like it was shot on like a Canon XL1, and this is the official trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is the studio putting out the trailer, and I honestly think maybe they just didn't have much of a budget and they shot it on like a cheap digital.
It looks like it was filmed on an old digital camera. That's for the listeners.
Yeah, because it could be that, and my one other thought was I saw The Holdovers recently, and they're definitely put on some like old
Right, they do the
production
throwback.
slates on the front and like a little bit of a make it feel like it's from a few decades ago. And I was just wondering if they're trying to like make it from a few decades ago and had plenty of
Yeah.
money for a new camera, you know?
Maybe
that
it
was
takes
my thought,
place in
too.
like 2003.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I thought maybe this is shot on film and it's just like a weird film stock that we're all but it really does look like digital camera for some reason. It
Yeah.
looks like low res.
like
Like
fuzzy.
there's a weird
Yeah.
fuzziness to it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not,
should-
and
It looks
it wasn't the video, it wasn't the speed because we all three of us saw it the same way. So
Yeah.
Right.
it was
I
the
don't know.
upload, not the speed.
Yeah. I don't know what happened here. Maybe it is just like a bad
Maybe somebody
like
it's
the
bad
studio
upload or
just put
something.
out-
Maybe
yeah.
we're like sitting here trying to figure out like the artistic intent behind it. It's just like somebody forgot to check a box.
Right. That's like when
Oh,
there
shit.
was that story of a Terrence Malick film that a theater accidentally played
The
out
Tree
of
of
order.
Life. They played it out of
yeah,
order.
the audience didn't notice. And that's such a great Terrence Malick story because it's like I know exactly how that would
Should
happen.
be on his tombstone.
Makes sense.
That's like when I worked at a movie theater. The ending of Moulin Rouge, the film burnt in the theater. And I was in the theater when it happened because I was getting ready to clean up. It was like right near the end. And the audience just went like, oh, that's an interesting way to end it. And like nobody noticed because it's Baz. You know, like it's
Yeah.
fucking Baz Luhrmann.
And
being
it's
fucking,
Moulin Rouge, which is
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's just like, oh,
very
okay.
surreal.
All right. But yeah, this looks great, Between the Temples.
Yeah.
Yeah, look fun.
Shall we talk about The Beast Within? You
Yeah.
think they were going to call this Werewolves Within, and then they were like, ah, damn it.
Can't do that. It's already done.
This is Jon Snow.
It is.
And he's
It's
now the
Wolfman.
king of the mountain, or the king of the woods.
King of
or
the
whatever
woods.
This time.
They could still
I
be in the
really-
north.
Yeah, that's true. I like this premise, which is that it's a werewolf movie from the daughter of the werewolf, who's just like, I think my dad might be a fucking werewolf over there. Am I in danger? And everybody's like, nah, you're fine.
Well, no, there's one person
Not
who's like
everybody,
explicitly like, no, she is very much in danger. We gotta kill.
Yeah, we
we gotta kill.
She is-
We gotta kill Jon Snow.
she is bite size. Yeah,
I'm a sucker for old timey werewolf movies.
right.
I
Yeah.
really like the because this looks like sort of a colonial period, like probably 18th 19th century.
Yeah,
and
I mean-
I dig that vibe a lot.
There is a film called The Beast Within from 1984. So, this is
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
And that's also a werewolf one, I believe. But yeah, this this looks good. I think this. I don't know. It looks fun.
It's he goes out to this place to chain himself down, but it's getting harder for him to control. It's escalating. It looks like the wife's dad wants to just blow him away.
Yeah. Being
Yeah.
a werewolf is one of the funniest things to try to hide. It's like trying to hide that you're on fire.
I was just about
You know?
to say that.
It's just like everybody around you, like,
Just like,
dude, I think
"Ah!
you might be a werewolf.
Are you all right? Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm fine. It's cool. It's cool. I'm cool.
My bones are doing the normal bones thing. They're just being bones.
Just bone stuff. Just being bone.
Yeah. We never had any sheep. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, just
Yeah.
obvious farcical lies.
Just
I
covered in
noted
blood. I know what you mean. I was so sorry. I slipped in.
I'm just a male person who tracks the moon very closely. It's a regular thing that most men do.
Really angry mood.
Totally
person.
natural. Totally natural thing to do.
I do think because I wrote that this in the 80s this could be called My Dad the Werewolf and have like Chevy Chase, and I do think we should start doing comedy and horror versions of the same premise back to back. Like
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
like why not?
Like Abbott and Costello it at the same
Yeah, exactly.
time. Why not?
Because a movie about a girl whose dad is a werewolf. If you just said that, it could be an 80s comedy too. So yeah, why not do both?
Yeah. Oh, and right, it peaks with him doing like Teen Wolf basketball dunks and stuff. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
sure.
It could be a sequel. Teen Wolf 3, My Dad is a Werewolf. That
Yeah.
sounds like a Teen Wolf. Yeah.
It's technically
Not a
true.
teen anymore.
The previous two movies could have been called My Dad is a Werewolf.
Yeah.
There you
So, yeah.
Well, not Teen Wolf.
Do it.
Not Teen Wolf 2. Excuse me.
Right.
Because he's like a cousin or something.
I haven't seen Teen Wolf 2. I should
It's
probably
Jason
see it.
Bateman. And
Oh.
the dad from the first Teen Wolf is in it to sort of explain their connection. And he's like a cousin or something. So they're actually, you couldn't call part 2 My Father the Werewolf.
I'm glad they connected the lore.
No, they were thinking about it.
Wow.
They knew you were paying attention, Dave.
Yeah. What's Kit been up to besides this? I was looking.
That show
And he,
Gunpowder.
What's that?
Gunpowder?
I don't know. I think it's about the Gunpowder Rebellion. It's like he's playing somebody who he's actually related to.
Oh,
Okay.
is that the
I
Guy
think.
Fawkes thing? The Gunpowder Rebellion?
I think so.
Yeah, blow up Parliament.
He's got that. This isn't meant to be like an insult or anything, but he's got that TV actor vibe. And what I mean by that is like,
Yeah.
I always think about this where it's like David Duchovny. I love him. I love X-Files. He didn't like become like a big. He did movies. Don't get me wrong, but it's like he seems like a guy who's like, I got a bunch of Game of Thrones money. I can kind of relax now and just do what I feel like.
Harry Pottering it up.
Exactly. He is apparently attached to a movie called Eternal Return, which is confusing since he was in Eternals, and it's not related. Not related. Two different Eternal movies.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's move on.
Yeah. Yeah. The Girl in the Pool, starring Frederick Prince Jr.
Yep.
And then
Trying to
Kevin Pollak just-
hide a dead mistress.
Yeah, in like a little plastic chest, right? Like
Yes.
not an impressive container.
No, a very small plastic chest full of pool toys. She like dies at the pool, and
Yeah, a
his
frequent use chest. Yeah.
yes. And then his wife shows up with his entire family for a surprise party. So it's essentially
Yeah.
like a version of the Alfred Hitchcock movie Rope. Where there's
Yeah.
a dead body in a chest in the middle of the room in this party, and the whole suspense of the movie is somebody gonna find that body?
Oh yeah. This I'm surprised this isn't like listed as an adaptation
of Rope. It's very similar, but it's not quite the same thing. So you could argue that it's, because Rope is two guys decide to commit a murder and then hide the body in front of all their friends to see if they can get away with it.
Right.
This is the
yeah.
opposite problem. He wants to
Yeah.
get away with it.
Yeah. He does. He's perfect casting. He looks like a guy in the process of covering up a dead body of a lover.
He does have
Yeah.
that face, that deer in
He
the
does.
headlights look,
Yeah.
that I know
And,
what
like,
you did last summer look. We got to roll
Yeah.
this dude into the ocean.
Yeah. Exactly.
He's always hiding bodies.
He's like a squirrel.
I'll bet there are like Hollywood agents who will say that kind of blunt thing directly to their client. Like, hey, client, you look like someone who would murder someone and be hiding it right now.
Yeah.
Like, okay, thanks. Jeez.
What does that mean for my career? Great news. All these roles.
This is, to me, this trailer plays out like a comedy, because I was waiting for people like, hey, do we have any of those floaty noodles? And he has to be like, no, we don't have floaty noodles. Like, it just keeps coming out. But like Kevin Pollak just like blasts into this trailer, and he's just like, hey,
Yeah.
Freddie Prinze, you killed someone, didn't you? I know you killed somebody. And it's like,
He just knows.
he just
So
knows.
suspicious. Well, it's because he suspects or knows that Freddie Prinze is cheating, because he's Monica Potter's dad. Monica Potter plays Freddie Prinze's
Right.
wife in this movie, so it's like a big old 90s reunion.
Yeah.
Like Kevin Pollak is her dad, and he is suspicious that he's cheating, so that's kind of like what he's on to. So
Right,
there's a
and
bit
then
of,
this
little bit
other
of dramatic
guy-
irony there.
This other guy just shows up like, hey, I'm checking in. My girlfriend was like around this area. It just gets funnier and funnier.
I think he
It
says
gets,
his
like,
wife.
His wife.
Yeah.
He's like, she
Yeah.
like I have all this evidence on my phone.
That she
showing
came
that she
here
was
and
here.
she's still here, like her phone is
And
still
then she's
pinging as
like-
being here.
Yeah, it's like she's in that box over there or something. it's just so funny because it's like it's so obvious.
I
that he
FaceTimed
killed
her. She looks
somebody.
dead.
Yeah.
Pretty sure she's dead in your pool box.
Yeah, I want him to do this movie with a guy who's trying to convince everybody that he's not a werewolf. I want that team up. Kit Harrison, like, also over there, just like, oh, God, I'm fine, everybody. Because it's just like, this guy he's the most obvious murder guy.
I think I either pitched that as a sketch or it's like a script I was trying to write at one point. Just a guy trying to hide that he's a werewolf.
Right. I've been wanting to, and I think I might actually work this into something, as someone who's clearly time traveling, where they say like, "Oh no, that didn't happen yet." You know how like that's always
Right.
in movies where they keep saying shit like that, and everybody just goes, boop, 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 boop. I want it to be like people like, "You're clearly time traveling."
Just like
right
if
now."
walks into a room and sees somebody, Floyd grabs him by the shoulders. Then there's still time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
What the
I'm
hell
just
do
happy
you
to see
mean?
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
this is
someone
all
who's
the-
clearly being wonderful lifed.
Yeah. You're here.
Like nobody knows who the fuck this guy is, but like the whole
Yeah.
town is like, I think he's being wonderful life. He seems to know a lot about all of us. And none of us remember him.
Oh, I want all of that.
He's
yeah.
convinced he's married to the librarian. She hasn't been on a date in 30 years. That's actually George Bailey's wife in the movie. Anyway,
But yeah, this is like A Wonderful Life, except Freddie Prinze Jr. has killed somebody.
right.
Sure.
If he had pushed someone off the bridge instead of contemplating jumping.
Yeah. This is I mean, this looks like this is fun. Like I want to watch this.
Yeah.
But the trailer is again like almost comically guilty.
I was
Yeah.
I was feeling like that was part of it.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, like this feels like it should be kind of a comedy. I don't know.
a little bit
Like a dark comedy.
it had a similar vibe to me as not totally the same but as Trap, the new Shyamalan movie that's coming out.
Oh yeah.
But
movie.
that one is more obvious, overtly playful. This one is not playful really. It's just the situation and the dramatic irony of it is really funny to me.
Yeah.
And
it
Freddie
is.
Prinze's face. Like of course
Yeah.
he just killed a mistress.
It reminds me of Dark Water, or Deep Water with Ben Affleck.
Oh yeah.
Where it's like it's not supposed to be funny, but it's extremely funny that he keeps
Desperately
killing all the
funny.
himbos that his wife sleeps
Himbo
with.
Slayer. Ben
To the
Affleck.
point to the point that it's like a comic beat when she meets another guy, and they like cut to Ben Affleck watching from afar, and you're like, oh, he's
Start
gonna kill that
laughing. He's
guy.
gonna kill that himbo.
Oh, I gotta rewatch that movie.
We should.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
All right. This next one is this is a Heretic, based off the video game. I wish. Remember, anybody
Hexen,
play
the
Heretic?
sequel to Heretic.
Yeah.
No, I didn't play it. No.
It was like a Doom clone or Duke Nukem. I shouldn't call it a clone because it was basically like, it's a first-person shooter where you're a wizard. So it's like you're firing magic at like demons. It's very much felt like
Cool.
it was like a Doom mod, but it was very fun. This is not that. This is the writer-director of 65 and A Quiet Place. At least wrote A Quiet Place. And it's
Okay. That makes
it's
sense.
Hugh Grant in a part that
Huff
like I'm
Grant.
surprised we haven't used him this way, and I'm like, why haven't we? He's so sinister.
Guess he's just aging into being a villain.
Yeah.
Where you use that
two-
charm insidiously.
Yeah. Two young women go to his house to tell him about Jesus Christ.
Well, they're Mormons specifically. They're doing
Mormons.
their missionary work.
Yeah. They are too trusting. When he's like, you come in, my wife's in here. And I would immediately be like, where's the wife? Show us.
Yeah, show me
But,
why. Yeah,
show me
absolutely.
I
why
know
right
who would
now,
I
sir.
mean, who would think that Mormons would be gullible or naive.
But he traps them in his house, which and
Yeah.
then he does a reverse Mormon on them, right? Like I'm pretty sure this is about he's teaching them the ways of Satan. Like that's the vibe I got, specifically because of the name, where it's like I think the idea is he's doing like a reverse thing where he's like, no, Satan's actually good, and I'm going to teach you about
Yeah,
Satan.
I figured.
That's the vibe I got.
I figured it's either that or he's like a very evil atheist. Like he's gonna like
Yes.
knock the stuffing out of them religiously, like just make them not believe in anything.
Right. I can see something like that.
Yeah, it was that kind of vibe. That's the kind of vibe I got. Like specifically that motive in that old thriller. What is it called? Mind Trap.
This sounds like a
with
movie.
it's Christopher Reeve and Laurence Olivier, and he's
Cool.
sleeping with Laurence Olivier's wife, so he like basically locks him inside his puzzle house. Sleuth?
Right.
Is it called Sleuth? I can't remember what
There
the name
are
of the fucking
so
movie
many
is.
movies called
Somebody
Mind
listening
Trap.
is screaming it right now.
I looked up the title Mind Trap, and there's just so many. So,
Anyway, I got that vibe, except the motive not being, a philandering boyfriend, but he's
Right.
just disgusted by religion or hates it or just
Yeah.
is a maniac.
in other hands, this could have been one of the worst God's Not Dead sequels, like a spin-off horror sequel.
Yeah.
But this isn't that. Like, this looks legitimately. I don't know. I'm really excited for this because I think Hugh Grant is killing it. It also feels like there's something supernatural here, possibly, because his house is like this tiny-ish house.
Maze.
But he's made like an H.H. Holmes house.
Yeah, yeah, like a puzzle house.
Yeah.
But
he has
not
like
a
a
fun
model
way.
of it somewhere inside of it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all
So it feels
chambers and
supernatural.
mazes and yeah.
He is retired. You need a hobby, when you're retired.
He's just building
And this is
the
his-
shining hedge maze on top of itself over and over again inside his own house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I think this is
I'm really stoked for this one too. Yeah, this looks
Could be
pretty
good.
fun.
a great use of Hugh Grant. I can't stress enough. He's always felt a little sinister to me.
Yeah.
And he's played villains before. He was the villain in Dungeons and Dragons, and he was a delight in that.
Yeah, and he's a
Yeah.
villain in The Gentleman.
Yeah,
I-
and he's in
and,
Unfrosted, and I would argue everybody in that movie is a villain.
right.
But it's like to see him be like, oh, he's like a villain, like not like a funny villain.
Yeah, because he's a
and
villain
still-
in Paddington too, I think. But he's
Oh,
like
okay.
funny. It's like
Yeah.
Paddington
Right,
2,
that's
so-
right.
Yeah, yeah.
He makes his little Hugh Grant faces in this. He makes his little like like his but it's like it's perfect for a guy who's like terrifying to be like, oh, look at me, I'm so British and charming, and it's like while he's just doing saw traps.
Yeah, very
That's
bad.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird that so they do the blueberry pie candle to show like, oh, he isn't making pie, which is a funny reveal. It's also their poster. It's the poster of this movie is the blueberry pie candle, and I'm like, what?
An interesting
Why?
pick.
That's such a weird thing to focus on, but it still looks good.
Yeah. I
Death
feel like that would
Trap.
lead people to think the title of the movie is Blueberry Pie. Right?
Yeah.
Like you think
Yeah.
it's just
It's like, why is that? Yeah.
it's too much
Death
of that
Trap.
text,
Yeah. It's like, all right, is the blueberry pie like really significant?
Yeah.
Okay, Death Trap.
Yeah, maybe yeah.
I want to watch this.
Oh no, it
May.
was called Sleuth, but I mixed it. Christopher Reeve is in Death Trap, which is like a loose remake of Sleuth. Both star Michael Caine. Michael Caine's the
Christ.
boyfriend in Sleuth with Laurence Olivier. That's where I got confused.
Got it.
There it is. It's
Got
called
it.
Sleuth. Is the film I was thinking of.
Wow, there's too many movies.
There are
should be-
way too many movies.
Yeah.
There should be a movie where Michael Caine is the Saw type villain putting people through traps, and everyone recognizes that it's the voice of Michael Caine. They're like, "Is that
Oh,
Michael
yeah.
Caine?" Like,
Yeah. Where he's like, I could be anyone, and it's like, no, you could be Michael.
you're
Caine.
Michael Caine, I think. Yeah, yeah.
And then they made that movie. It's called Phone Booth with Kiefer Sutherland, where Kiefer is the voice. And then they do a reveal where the killer is like the pizza guy, and you watch the movie and you're like, no, that's not the killer. The killer is Kiefer Sutherland. We all know it's Kiefer.
We've
Right,
heard
it's
him
funny
this
that you're-
entire film.
Yeah, it's very funny that you're trying to tell me that it's this other guy who is not Kiefer Sutherland.
I wanted to, the movie Kiss the Girls, directed by Gary Flater, who went to my high school. He would come to talk to us a few times. and he came to talk to us about Kiss the Girl specifically. And he got around that in that movie by having a different actor who was playing one of the other suspects be the murderer's voice on the phone. Even after that actor was revealed
smart.
to not be the killer, just to disguise who it actually was.
Yeah.
But it's
That's
funny
a
to
good
pick
idea.
somebody with a distinct voice like Kiefer Sutherland and be like, this other guy's a murderer. No,
and
he's
then try
not.
to fake us out. Yeah. It's like, do you think we don't know what Kiefer Sutherland is? We know. We know all too well. Well, let's thank
thanks
some
more
more
producers, yeah.
producers. Yeah. Big ol' sloppy thank yous to David Knife Boot
Knife Boot.
Hansen. Thank you. Thank you to Deborah's awesome. Barbara's great and cancer can go to hell.
Thank
you. Thank you to Harrison Ford's Cloven Grumble Pussy.
Sure.
Yes. Thank you. We all thank you.
What are you talking
Thank
about?
you. Thank you to Dracula, the bus driving vampire.
Thank you.
Thank you to Driftless, Lord of the Wasteland wants you to just walk away.
Just walk away.
Thank you to Ed Nog.
Thank you.
Thank you to Exploding Rooms.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Funky Jim Mostly Comes Out at Night Mostly. Thank you to Heathcliff's Helping Handfuls.
Thank you.
Thank you to Highlander Likes the Way Tom Says Pretty Sweet.
Thanks.
Thank you to Hombre.
Thank you so much. All right, let me swoop in here. Thank you to ImpossibleWorlds.net, a magazine, and there's a podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you to Jay, Anya Taylor-Joy's Baron Black Thumb.
Thank you.
Sure. Say Jay, Anya Taylor-Joy's Baron Black Thumb. There, I got it.
There we go.
Thank you to Chris Shanovich.
Thank you.
Thank you to Lieutenant Frank Drebin, Police Squad.
Thank you.
Thank you to Lookma, I'm on a podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mackenzie, Fuck Shuffling with Willem Dafoe's confusingly large dick chill.
Thank you.
He'll be an important weapon in Nosferatu.
Mhm.
Thank you to Mercurial Oz.
Thank
Thank
you
you to Mike the Helldiver.
Thank
Thank you
you.
to Mongolian Throat Skanking.
Thank you.
And thank you to Mr. Tell Your Wife how many Patreon subscriptions you have before you agree to buy a house.
Thank you.
Sage
Just
advice.
slap that vampire.
Right.
I'm of two
Challenge
minds
him.
about this. So, first news is that the Borderlands movie, which is coming out soon, is officially PG-13. I feel like we talked about this the last
We
time
did,
we
yeah.
talked
The
about
last
it.
time we talked about this movie, we were arguing that it should be R, but very probably will be PG-13.
Got it. So I was thinking about it a little harder, and went back and forth because I'm like, yeah, I get it. They want teenagers
They want
to see the movie
everybody to be able to see it.
because teenagers play video games.
Exactly.
And then when I literally before this watched a playthrough, and I was like, I guess it isn't that R-rated of a game.
It's really violent, but they bleep most of
Yeah.
the cursing usually. That's really it, is the violence.
And at first I was like, come on, guys. Like, Suicide Squad was R-rated, and it did. And then I looked it up, and it did not do very well. The James Gunn one, even
No,
though that's a
it
very
didn't.
good movie. So it's like, okay, you win, I guess. I don't love it, but I get it. It's not a huge, this isn't Doom. Like if they made a Doom movie and they probably did make the Doom movie PG-13.
No,
Did
it was
they?
R.
Okay, good. There's just certain things where it's like, yeah. But like Borderlands, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, as a fan of the series, I could say the series, even though it's M-rated, is still pretty PG-13 because it's very violent, but it's such stylized art and animation that it's very comic book.
Right.
So-
and here in America, things can be extremely violent
And
as
we
long
don't
as you
care
don't say
about
fuck.
it. As long as you don't say
Yeah.
fuck or show any nipples.
Yep. No nipples. So I
Yeah,
get it.
Yeah, and is Borderlands a current popular game? It's a very dumb question. But like are people actively playing it, or is this a little of a I liked
No.
that before?
We're like a couple years out of the last one. There will be another.
It's still
What was the
very
last one?
popular. Borderlands 3, and then they did Tiny Tina's, whatever
Right.
that was called, the D&D
3 was
one.
the first one I ever played, and I really enjoyed Borderlands 3.
Yeah, people still grind that out to chase legendaries and stuff. It's still a
Yeah, I know.
popular game.
Cool. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
wonder if
it's
those
not-
people want a movie. Like the people who like the game.
I'm not opposed to
yeah.
one.
I think so.
Yeah, yeah.
I liked the way that the first trailer looked as a fan of the game, for the most part.
So
Cool.
I think this might flop.
Yeah,
That doesn't mean
I
it'll
think
be
it probably
bad.
will, yeah. whether or not it's good, I think it probably will flop.
But I don't think that's about the movie itself. I think it's about the state of movies now.
Yeah.
Where it's like they have to be hugely hyped. Like I feel like Borderlands, I forget it's even coming out.
Well,
like,
we were
where do
just
you even advertise
we were
a
just
movie
we were
these
just talking
days?
about action comedies and how like The Fall Guy, which was a PG-13 action comedy starring like very big stars, like Ryan Gosling, is really popular right now.
Right.
And that
Yeah.
movie tanked in
Right.
relative terms.
I do hope it does well, because it's weird enough. I feel like this is a movie that the studios who went through it, it's that thing where it's like executives don't play video games, right? Not even video game executives play video games. And so, like, I think this is one of those things where they're staring at a spreadsheet.
I mean,
and
movie
looking at
executives really
numbers.
seem to hate movies.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. So
Yeah.
I feel like this is like a thing where they're staring at numbers and they're going, I guess we need to make this thing. And it does. And the people making it seem to care about it. Like Eli Roth is the director, and it seems like, I'm guessing he played Borderlands. I don't know for sure. I forget who wrote it, but it's all to say that I don't think there was like a big marketing push for this movie that I have seen, and I feel like the people in charge of that don't understand it. And I feel like kids these days, the people who might like Borderlands, I don't know if they're going to movies, like, I don't know. It's just,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, nobody is going to just walk into this movie, off the street. And I
Right.
haven't seen much marketing for it.
Yeah, not really any.
Not even on like on TikTok. You'd think there'd be TikTok. Do some stuff, get some influencers. That's where the kids are. But there's just nothing, there's no like, so it's all to say that it just probably won't, perform well. But I don't know. Maybe, Five Nights at Freddy's did great, right? And all those fucking kids went and see it. So
Yeah,
maybe
okay.
it'll have that appeal. But
maybe.
it doesn't feel like it's a Five Nights at Freddy's either, where it's like all the young kids are huge into Borderlands. It
No,
feels
I don't
like
think it doesn't have that cachet.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
like it's this weird in between place. So, but I bet it's fun. I don't know. We'll find out soon enough.
Yeah.
You guys excited for Shrek 5?
Huh? I
I
don't think
didn't
I've seen
know
any of
there
them
were
past the
4.
first one.
Yes. I
Same.
didn't know there were 4.
Yeah, I think I only saw the first one.
Are they counting Puss in Boots?
No, they did
No, I don't
Shrek,
think so.
Shrek 2,
Fucking
Shrek the Third,
Christ.
There's so many movies in this franchise.
Shrek
How
Ever
are there
After,
that
I think.
many? Is that Jesus fucking Christ?
They made lots of Shreks, man. Shrek,
Yeah, I mean,
he made a lot of green and not just his shits.
I love that there's just like it's like kind of a meme Shrek. It's like an ironic meme,
Yeah.
but also but also not. Like I guess Minions is that too.
Right, because you got to remember, like, people who are in their early 20s now were infants to very little when the Shrek movies and the Minion movies were coming out in the early aughts or throughout the aughts.
Right.
So this is the shit like, oh, we grew up with that. We'll go see it.
I mean Shrek. I when I saw Shrek, I was like 20. I was so high, and I remember
Sure. Yeah.
having a great time. I saw God watching that movie. It was just like I was laughing. I was having a great time because people forget it's like Austin Powers, right? Another Mike Myers thing where it was so subversive when it came out
Yeah.
to do like
Yeah,
funny adult fairy tales.
Yeah, it felt edgy and not like wildly edgy, but we were all just like, "Oh, this is like more edgy than Pixar." And that
Yeah.
This is,
and,
yeah.
that was it.
The tone clash we were talking about earlier with Red One, like Shrek, the first Shrek did that clash of tones pretty perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
But boy, it was 14 years ago.
Sure
Shrek
was.
4.
Wow.
The fourth Shrek was that long ago.
I think the first Shrek is 24 years ago.
Yeah, it was 2001. So
23 then.
Yeah. It I don't know, but that doesn't I don't know.
Man.
Yeah, I know.
I got nothing against Shrek. I
Yeah,
got more
put
against
that
the
on-
passage of time.
Yeah.
'Cause I remember
Yeah.
seeing the first Shrek in the theaters with my friends in high school.
I have a similar relationship with Minions, and what I mean by that is like you're just making all those over there. Cool, man. I'll be over here. I have nothing. Like you said, I have nothing against Shrek. If they want to make 20 of these, that's fine by me. I'm not going to watch them, but that's fine.
Yeah, I think Minions are a little vapid, but
I remember enjoying the first Shrek, but then feeling like seeing the trailer for the second one. Probably there was some time when I decided like, oh, I think now these Shrek movies are just being like edgy to be edgy. I don't need. And so at the time I was like, that's not a direction animated movies should go. And then now I feel like most of them went that way. So Shrek coming back is like kind of refreshing. It's like, oh, okay, this one like came by it honestly. It's kind of like it's going there for the reason that it's thing. Okay, cool.
I think we're ready to Shrek again. I think about Shrek 1, like I said, I was like 20 or whatever. I was probably younger, and I was like, I'm on top of the world. I'm so high. And that was May 2001. Then a lot of stuff happened. And Shrek 2 is 2004. And they're like, hey, we're Shrek over here. And it's like, not now, Shrek. We got other things to do.
Jesus, Shrek, just not today. Not today,
Shrek.
Not today, Shrek.
Not today, Shrek.
I'm so tired, Shrek. I'm so tired.
Just like
but now,
trying to tell Shrek that George W. Bush is going to get reelected and he needs to get serious. Yeah.
Yeah. Shit is
You gotta get out there and rock the vote, Shrek. Vote or die, Shrek.
Oh man. But yeah, sure. Fuck it. Shrek 5.
I don't care.
Yeah.
The
Fine.
Shrekening.
The Shrekening.
And I guess
Let's see his dick in this one. Come on, it's the fifth one.
Right.
Let's see.
Let's see his hog. We know it's huge.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's Willem
He's an
Dafoe
ogre.
sized. Yeah. And then they're making a donkey spin-off.
What if he had a micro penis? Like
a gorilla?
Like a gorilla,
or something.
yeah.
Because that is possible. Honestly.
Biology's weird, man. Sure.
it is.
Yeah.
It is. Just a funny visual. Anyway.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at the poster now for Shrek Forever After, and there is like a totally different guy I've never seen before, and there's all these ogres, and it's like, what lore did they collect? Like when they do the thing, like, all the characters are back on the poster, and it's Shrek and this guy with like troll hair, and then everybody behind them are strangers.
Oh, I think the troll hair guy is Rumpelstiltskin. I think he's the bad guy in that one.
All right. There are so many Shreks behind.
A lot of Shreks,
Shrek.
man. There's a lot of fairy tales.
Yeah, what happened between?
The thing I'm confident about is if I end up seeing Shrek 5, I absolutely will not see the movies in between. I'm just gonna go in cold. I'm going in raw. Like, yeah.
You'll probably be fine,
so
too.
Confused about the lore.
Well, I mean, like you pointed out, it's been 14 years since Shrek 4, so they'll probably make it so that Alex will have an easy time going into Shrek 5.
Yeah, that's fair.
Going in cold. I gotta be honest, I've not kept up with the Shreks.
Right. I know there's a Shrek
don't
and a
keep in
donkey and a
touch.
girl and the band Smash Mouth. That's what I know when I'm here. Like, that's it. Yeah.
It reminds me of like, remember Meet the Parents? There's like 6 of those.
There's 3, but
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, where they're like, what is the lore? Because the last one is like Little Fockers, and it's like, boy, they made that joke last so long. They stretched that out.
They rode
But
that
then
till the
there's-
wheels fell off.
Yeah, and we've done. It's like Look Who's Talking, where you get to Look Who's Talking now, and you're like, wow, we're
Fucking
really
dogs, get them in here.
extending the lore, and that's what it is. Like, it's funny when like a comedy that's low stakes just like makes so many that there's intricate lore that you lose track of what's happening in them.
Yeah.
I needed to tell you guys that I saw Meet the Parents, and then I saw Little Fockers in the theater because all my friends were going. Have never seen the second one.
Oh, why would you?
So I went into part 3 like, yeah, I'll be fine.
Did it make sense?
Yes.
Did it all make sense? Okay,
I was
good.
able to fill in the blanks quite easily.
Right. I hope Shrek 3 is like, it's confusing. I hope it's like going into
a lot of
Return the
lore,
King
yeah.
without seeing. Yeah.
Like Tenet.
They're like, yeah.
It's really confounding. It's like, man, they really went for it in Shrek 3.
Yeah. Excited for Shrek.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it. That's the news of the day.
Let's thank some more producers.
All right. Big old thing in a musical guest, Darius Rucker.
Thank you.
Thank you to Norm from Cheers.
Norm.
Thank you to Pete Vorpagel.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to Numino Ultramicroscopic Volcanoconiosis, Anti-Disestablishmentarianism Jones. Thank you. Thank you to pre-order Jason Parkin's new book so he can keep making big feet.
Thank you.
Thank you to Psychic Bigfoot.
Thank you.
Thank you to Rev MD.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Ricky Cilantro.
Thank you.
Thank you to Rosemary's Baby from Eraserhead.
Thank you.
Thank you to Screaming Horse Pyramid.
Thank you.
Thank you to Sorry Cop, world's most laughable centrist.
Hey, thanks.
Thank you to Steven.
Thank you so much. All right, let me swoop in here. Thank you to the conveniently placed self-destruct button on the top of every baby's head.
Thank you.
Probably locate that. Thank you to the ghost of Dave Thomas.
Thank you.
Thank you to the Midnight Patron with patrons at midnight.
Thank you.
Thank you to the municipal medicinal arsonist.
Thank you.
Thank you to the oatmeal savage.
Thank you.
Thank you to the To Be Terror Bunny thinks you could use more Rutger Hauer in your media diet.
Thank you.
Always. Thank you to these 7 Bs.
Thank you.
Thank you to Tiger Drawers, Pratt Thompson. Raindrops keep falling on my head.
Thank you.
Thank you to Tip Drizzle.
Thank you.
Thank you to Tux.
Tux.
Thank you to Vincent.
Thank you.
Thank you to Why Don't You Take a Flying Fuck at the Moon?
Thanks.
Thank you to Yorgos from the island of Crete.
Thank you.
And thank you to your mom.
Thank you very much.
Dave.
Thank you.
Dave.
Yo.
Before you delight us with more celebrity impersonations.
That's an impersonation.
Yeah, that was your Jonathan Brandis, right?
Oh, yeah, that was. Yeah, you're right. It's just like him.
So, he was always saying that on
Jonathan
Sequest
Brandis.
DSV.
Thank you very much.
Before you do that,
Yep.
do you have a movie that deserves more hype?
I do.
What
I
luck?
have a movie that deserves more hype. So I'm trying to prioritize my more hypes now by when they come out. Not always, but this one is coming out pretty soon, and I hadn't heard anything about this thing. It's coming out July 3rd. It's called The Secret Art of Human Flight. It looks quirky as hell.
Yeah.
Real quirky.
Yeah.
It's
Amelie,
from the director of-
quirky. Sorry.
Yeah, it's from the director of I Am a Ghost. It's about a widower, a recent widower, who finds this online guru who claims that he knows how to fly, and this guy just gets obsessed with trying to follow this guy and learn how to fly. The reviews are very good, and they all come with a disclaimer, which is that this isn't too quirky, which I appreciate that they say that, where they're like, I know what you're thinking, but it isn't that twee after
That's
all.
right. It's like they're putting a not that twee stamp on the front of it. It's not as twee as it looks.
Yeah, and they say the movie is rather grounded and more character-based. This one Variety review compared it to Up as the most similar thing.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Good.
so that was enough for me to go all right, I'm curious about this. It looks very pretty in the trailers too. It looks well shot. But what sums up what kind of made me think of this, because this movie, it looks like a good, decent, fairly quirky indie drama. And RogerEbert.com put it really well. It said, this is the kind of knowingly quirky but sincere indie comedy drama that might have sold for $5 million at Sundance back when there were enough art house theaters and home video companies to recoup the purchase price. So that's all to say that I know exactly what they're describing right now, which is we used to have room for these movies. And this movie is quietly coming out, but it's it's weird. I think of movies Once, where it's we used to have movies like this.
Yeah.
Where you could put out this very low stakes
Yeah.
kind of quirky comedy drama, and that's what this looks like. What you guys think of this trailer?
I liked it a lot, actually. I liked how kind of surreal it is. It's very dreamlike in a lot of the shots. I liked how just very. It seems almost like a fairy tale or like a fable or something, because it's so childlike and simple in what his goal is, but there's a lot of meaning that can be read into there, or that can be toyed with there. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just seems like a really interesting way to explore a topic that gets done a lot, it's grief and loss. But yeah.
I like a good movie that like this isn't a movie that you're like, what does it mean?
No, pretty clear.
Yeah, exactly. And that's okay. Like it's not trying to hide its meaning. It's just Yeah,
I agree. And it seems like the grief and loss part, it's conscious and on purpose, but it really grounds it, probably. Like it probably is why the reviewers are saying it's not too quirky. Like it's really about death and heavy things too. So it's like there's a point.
Right.
You're gonna cry.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's apparently not too twee. And it's like, okay, cool. I can work with that. Like
just a picture of Wes Anderson on the poster, kind of frowning a little bit, like
because there are. I mean,
it's not that sweet.
There are like red flags. Like it's shot in that soft, like it's got soft corner, full screen frame, the 4:3, and you're like, Jesus Christ.
There's rain clouds inside his house at one point.
Exactly.
Like it's a little Eternal Sunshine.
Someone compared it this is a movie you'd expect like Michel Gondry to make. And I like Michel Gondry. Like there is some twee that I like.
And I wouldn't really call him that twee, Gondry.
No, but he
you're right. Never mind. Comment retracted.
Yeah. But again, that's what I mean is like twee is one of those things where it's like, I get why people are like use it as a derogatory at this point, but it's like it didn't.
There's another way to use it. I mean, no, I guess you can. Yeah. Anyway.
But there are gradients of it, But this apparently isn't even on that map. So.
Yeah, I agree, and I almost had the thought watching the trailer that this is too low budget and too independent to be totally twee. Yes. Like it's if there was a little, I feel like some of those relatively whimsical movies, they're like, oh, but we have a somewhat famous actor or a somewhat well-known director, so we can still sell this. And this movie like doesn't have that at all. So they need to like make sense.
Yeah,
that's
actually...
it's like why there's a crime at the center of Bottle Rocket, which is Wes Anderson's first movie.
Oh yeah.
That is worth pointing out. Like the clouds that you mentioned, those are actually like real lights that you can like I think get on TikTok or make. Like I've seen people make those.
Oh, okay.
So like they're indoor lights is what we're describing that are like they're designed to look like clouds. Like if you look at that shot and
Okay, I totally misread that. Because it was such a fantastical movie. I thought, this is going like surreal on us. They're just fucking lamps.
But
I thought that too. I mean, Tom thought, yeah.
Thanks.
I mean, I might be mistaken. I'm looking at it now, and there are some shots that are like through. All right, so it does look like some of it is digital, but like it does look like it's also lightly like depends on the shot. There are other shots where it looks a little more practical. It's all to say that I like that it's like surreal, but also feels like you said kind of low budget. I mean, Michel Gondry could make some weird shit on low budget too, but like. It makes it more creative, is my point.
Yeah, for sure.
And so, like, I don't know. It looks pretty interesting to me. I'm very curious about it.
Yeah, same.
And I like that premise that you pointed out of it's just so simple and interesting. A guy is trying to fly. Like, I understand.
Yeah,
cool. Just trying to learn how to fly.
Just some sad guy trying to fly. The Secret Art of Human Flight. It is, I believe, in theaters July 3rd, which is soon.
Yeah.
Very, very soon. Yeah. Check it out. At least check out the trailer. Bring your twee-ass friends and watch them weep.
Park your twee-ass.
Watch them weep.
In front of your twee-ass computer.
Yeah. Get your corduroy suits out.
And get ready to tweep.
Yeah.
That's weeping at a tweet. Weeping while tweeting.
Bro, you tweeping?
You tweeping, bro? You tweeping? Bro, I tweeped all over Moonrise Kingdom, bro.
So hard.
Tweeping
so hard.
I think that's a sode.
We did it.
So
we did it. Alex, thank you so much for being on.
Always a treat. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Thank you.
You want to hit your plugs or your links again? Anything? Where should people go?
If you go to SIFPod on Instagram, SIFPOD, we have a link in the bio for tickets to our London live show, and also a link just to hear the podcast. But really proud of it. And this week is episode 200. It came out. So
Wow.
feeling glad
Congrats.
about
Man,
that.
that's awesome.
Yeah. And yeah, it's me and Katie Golden. We have a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's
go to
such a
that.
cool
Go to
show.
England. Everybody
you.
go to England. It is a great show. Are you going to do something special for 200?
It's already out. For all those milestones, I've basically been treating it as we try to make the most amazing podcast possible every week. Like if there was a
Right.
better, bigger thing, that would just be the goal every week. So it's a regular episode, and the topic is helium, which listeners suggested. Listeners like vote on
Nice.
topics and pick them, and helium felt celebratory with balloons and stuff. So
You
it
should do a
turned
slam
out.
dunk contest. Have you considered a slam dunk contest?
Podcasting's first dunk contest. It's just, it's just that
No.
sneaker noise, and yeah.
Yeah.
Do you?
Just a lot
oh,
of grunts and skin noises. And
Do you inhale any helium for the
Gymnasium
helium
echo.
episode?
We don't, but we do talk about how that works, and also
Nice.
based on an experiment on making a crocodile inhale helium, we are pretty sure we know what
Whoa.
dinosaurs sounded like. So that's cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
And humiliating for the crocodile.
Yeah.
Or empowering.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe it
Sounds like
liked
a
it.
dinosaur.
God, that's one of
True.
my
You
should
favorite
all be
Simpsons
so lucky.
gags. Remember the Simpsons gag where he's trying to make the photographer trying to make Maggie laugh?
Yeah.
He sucks the balloon. Hi, kid. Oh, there's no helium. In this. She still does the voice. It's a great gag. Great gag.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, Dave, you should probably tell him some words.
right. Sorry. I just got lost in the conversation. We have a Patreon. Patreon.com/gamefully unemployed. GAMEFULOY unemployed. We have exclusive podcasts on there like Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Fox Mulder's a Maniac, Star Trek The Next Futurama, Spiel Boys. We watch movies every Friday night with our patrons as well. That is the night this comes out. Whatever will we watch, we don't tell until it happens. Last time we watched, I believe, Hard Rain and Wanted.
Yeah.
Oh, that doesn't sell it.
Villainous
But,
Morgan
you know,
Freeman night is the theme.
That was the theme. We have secret themes that you have to guess.
Yeah.
So it's fun.
Fun
It's
game.
Fun.
You get nothing for it. Respect.
Yeah, you get nothing. You
Respect.
get respect.
We also have a store. Head over to gamefullyunemployed.com where you can find a link to our Teespring store where we have all kinds of cool original artwork and designs you can get on t-shirts, mugs, stickers, posters, all sorts of things. So slap your little peepers onto that.
Yes.
Flying peepers. Your secret
Yeah,
flying
yeah.
peepers.
You're soaring peeps.
Mm-hmm. Say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Our music is produced by Chris Corlew. Find him on Twitter at @thecorlew or go to shipwrecksailor.bandcamp.com. Our channel artwork is by Michael Vincent Bramley. For more of his work, go to mvbramley.art. Episode artwork is by Justin Brown. Available on Twitter as @JustinTBrown or at artnessbyjustinbrown.com. And finally, additional artwork by Starlene Hodge. You can find her work at starlenearts.com or Twitter @StarleneX. Goodbye now.